to the light and God's way, YTVY. I'm Adolphina Shephard, and this is my co-host Thomas Knights Templar.
Good evening, everyone.
Well, as always, we have a wonderful show prepared for you, but we're doing a little switch in format. We're going to have various guests on to enlighten you and awaken you in various different modalities and things you may not know about. And to that end, we have a wonderful guest here tonight. Let's see. This is Dino Calabrese, the Italian messenger.
So, yeah.
So say a few words, Dino.
Well, it's really good to be here with the two of you, and I look forward to seeing how this evening goes through with what we're going to do. It's going to be fun.
It'll be a good time.
Yeah.
It is going to be fun. What we're actually going to do, because so few people, we figure maybe only 2-3% of the population has ever actually seen an intuitive reading. Now, more people are becoming aware of it with the Long Island Medium having a TV show, but other than that, if they don't watch that, they really have no clue. Now, I mean, I've been around, have done, have seen, have received readings all my life, so it's something that's not new to me, but it's probably going to be new to most of you. So we're going to start out with, we'll have, Dino will do a private reading for someone. We have another guest in the audience who's going to come up, and then after we do that, the audience will be able to come up with their most pressing question
And ask questions.
and ask a question, and so we'll do that. And if time permits, we're going to tell you some of our most memorable experiences, and maybe even the first time that we've ever had our own intuitive experience. So that's the plan for tonight. And so we're going to get started. And I guess one of the things I want to tell you about Dino and why I invited him here tonight is because Dino and I met, about 5 years ago now?
Yes, 5 years, yeah.
At a Mind, Body, Spirit Expo where we were doing aura photography and Dino was doing readings, and he just happened to sit next to us at the booth. And that's how we met. And of course, over the years, we've become friends at the many expos where I'll lecture and we do aura photography there. And I do consultations as well. And Dino's usually there too. So, you know, we share with each other many, many times. And I love his down-to-earth manner. Of course, he's Italian. And what, you know, I mean, right, well, that's why we're together, too, because I love the Italian people. Hey, you know, two Italian husbands, right? What's the Italian people? Mangia, you know, always with a hug and a kiss. And with these two, laughter all the time. So, you know, we have a lot going that we're going to be doing tonight. And that's it. So we're going to continue to educate you in spiritual teachings and for your growth. But we're just going to do it in a slightly different manner. So stay tuned, stay with us, and I guess we'll take it from there.
All right.
So
we should ask Dino some questions. How's that?
Okay.
All right. Dino,
Sure.
you have various items on the table over there. I see a pyramid and bells. And how does that help you in connecting to the other side?
Well, it really doesn't help me connect to the other side. What it does is it gives me protection.
Okay.
It reinforces what I do for myself. And it just makes me feel safe.
So you would say, in other words, it would be like something that would get you into a meditative state?
Correct.
To
Correct.
be able to feel the presence on the other side?
Yes.
Okay.
And also to keep the energy good around me. Because, you know, as you know,
no, we always ask for protection. when we do
yes,
work.
exactly, yeah.
And crystals hold energy. They're actually the storer of energy. So they would amplify your own light for the protection. And crystals can be programmed for protection as well.
Yes, yes.
Do you have your crystals programmed?
I have them programmed for me.
Right.
Well, they should be
right.
programmed for you.
No, but I mean,
Yes.
were they programmed specifically for protection? Or?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
okay, so
absolutely.
then they are. Yeah, and does that one pyramid have
some
gold?
are for prosperity.
Uh-huh.
Some is for clarity. Some is for romance. Some is for right?
Is
Will
that
we borrow
pyramid,
that
does
after
that
this?
have copper?
It's got copper in it,
See,
yes.
copper is an amplifier of spirit, too.
It's a conductor.
Yeah, it's a
Yes.
conductor, yes. So that's all very good. That's all very good. And I know what the bells do, and I love the way you proceed with that. I don't want to spoil the moment with that, but I enjoy the bells very much.
I just thought we were having Chinese food when you were ringing them things. I don't know. That just came to me like that.
Well, you know, one of the things that people sometimes they think that intuitive readings, because of the Bible, is a no-no, and really, I don't know how that got in there. I believe that that was probably put in there by the state when the Bible was rewritten in
Man-made
order.
doctrine.
Yeah, when it was rewritten by King James to prevent people from getting their own information because they wanted to control the people. Because there are many, many, many examples of that you should see a prophet and you should desire to prophesize. You should see a seer. And you know what? The Bible's not made up of nothing but I think it's 47 major and minor prophets. I remember my pastor saying that in church one time, and that really stuck in my mind, you know.
Well, it should, because, you know, it's a gift of prophecy. How can you be a soothsayer and be condemned, all right, by the very Bible that claims prophets?
Oh, I know. Well, I dug out a few Psalms and verses for you, so you're understanding, because a lot of people have read the Bible, but they don't truly pick up on certain things. So I'm going to read you a few. Okay, here's one. 1 Corinthians chapters 14:1. Make love your aim and earnestly desire the spiritual gifts, especially that you may prophesy. That's one of them. Now, do you know of anybody who ever noticed that in the Bible, right? And yet it's plainly there.
I was sick that day. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you were sick that day. So here's another one that really caught my attention. 1 Samuel 9:10. Formerly in Israel, when a man went to inquire of God, he said, "Come, let's go see the seer, for he who is now called a prophet was formerly called a seer." And Saul said to his servant, "Well, come, let's go." So they went to the city where the man of God was. So totally different than what people who are trapped in religious dogma believe. They think that it's soothsaying or it's bad, when here in the Bible it plainly says that the seer was a man of God.
So many times. It's misinterpreted. Even in the churches, you know, it's misinterpreted.
Well, everyone has their own interpretation of
Well,
everything.
You're supposed
in
to
life.
channel the Holy Spirit when you read the Bible.
Right.
And what you receive from the Bible is your truth. Okay, my truth is going to be slightly different than anybody else's.
Right.
All right, and I'm going to, you know, discern what they want me to know. And by that same token, you know, it says right here to go see the seer. All right, it doesn't say go see, the local witch. It says
Right.
go see the seer, who is a prophet. Yet they condemn not the prophet, they condemn seers.
Well, you know,
It makes no sense.
let me go over and let's talk about, I went to the dictionary so that people could actually get a definition. Okay, what is a seer? Now, this is at our friend Webster, and it says, one that predicts events or developments. Prophet, a person credited with extraordinary moral and spiritual insight. That's seer. Now, another one was in the same section, one to whom divine revelations are made in visions. So now, let's look at what prophet means in Webster's. One who utters divinely inspired revelations, the writer of one of the prophetic books of the Old Testament, gifted with more than ordinary spiritual and moral insight. Okay? So, you know, when you're thinking about this, the truth is so far different than what so many people believe,
Right.
That's true.
right? So
Yes.
truth is stranger than fiction, right? So here's one for you. The prophets go under the intuitive, the second part of the Jewish scriptures under the law. And then it goes right to intuitive, knowing or perceiving by intuition, directly apprehended. So in other words, you're getting your own information. You're getting your own information. So let's look at the word intuition, because they all go hand in hand. And they're, to me, they're kind of mean the same thing in so many ways. Intuition, immediate apprehension or cognition. So that means your soul is telling you, you don't even have to give it mental thought. It means that you immediately just know. You know, if it's bad for you, if it's good for you, don't you feel that way?
I think we all have the gift of intuition. It's
Yeah.
part of our energy centers. It's part of who we are and what we all have it. And you know, I've read lots of things in the Bible, and I've read lots of books, and I've gone to every church. And all I can say is for what I experience. And what I experience is once you understand how that you have this gift, and you will, which we all do, and you just surrender to it, they keep pouring in. I mean, I can't explain it any other way except that we are really a vehicle, and the information keeps coming, and we have to trust that information.
We're a vessel.
Right,
Yeah.
we're the vessel,
We're
exactly.
a vessel to do God's work here. on earth.
Exactly.
Right. So, you know, and that's true. I've always said that everybody
Right.
has all of the gifts. It's a question of several things from my perspective as a healer, because all of my students have went from not being psychic to being psychic because we repaired their electromagnetic body or spiritual body or biofield or quantum field, however you want to call it. And that enhances the ability, but the more you use it, the stronger it gets, just like a muscle. If you go to the gym and you're doing bicep curls, your bicep's going to get strong. If you're using your psychic center, it's going to get stronger, and you hone it. And
Exactly.
You know, right? And
Exactly.
you know what? And a lot of people think sometimes like it's boom, like you get this huge, like a TV screen. But you know what really happens is it's a flash, and you have to be able to tune into that flash and say, okay, I got something there. What was that? What did that mean? You know, because it's so split second that
That's
if
right.
you're not paying attention, you'll miss it, right?
Sometimes it happens to people, don't even realize it. They had a psychic episode, and they just, you know, they're so blind to it.
I think that everyone knows they have what we call psychic episodes. I think that it's about trusting yourself.
Well, yeah.
You know, and if you trust in the divine, you have to trust yourself. And you know what I'm saying? If you get these thoughts and these messages and it feels right and you trust it, I think that's basically what we all do, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. You know,
That's what we
But the
do.
thing is, you know, it's hard because especially what I've learned, I mean, for me, I was born with gifts, and I think everybody is, and so, but it got stronger over the years, and then you grow into a different person as you mature. As they say in the biblical sense, you know, you're not a child who drinks milk, you're a woman or man who now eats meat. So what it means is you matured spiritually. So as you grow into this person, you're not the same person you were when you were 20 or 30, because you've matured, and if you're honing your gifts, they become stronger and stronger. So you're not going to be the same person at 60 that you were when you were even 40. You know, so it depends on you just growing into who you really are,
Well,
right?
In your history, your story, it was from a climactic event with an automobile accident that really focused your ability to heal yourself.
Right.
The contact. A lot of people with catastrophic injuries or near-death experiences come back with psychic gifts.
Oh, yeah.
Because they have crossed the line. They have been on the other side and come back. They come back. There's a good book called Dying to Be Me
Right.
by a lady named Anita Mojani. And I recommend it. You get this book. She had she crossed over. And what she learned is that there is no past, present, future. It's all now. Everything runs concurrent, side by side. And it was very interesting when you hear her tell her story how, you know, she all her life growing up, she feared things like, you know, getting sick and getting cancers, and she was from an Indian family, and they wanted her to marry this one, and all these pressures and stresses, and it manifested cancer on her. And the woman had like 30 hours to live.
Oh, boy.
And she crossed over, and when she came back with such a positive energy that in 3 days she showed no signs of cancer. after having billions of cancer cells in her body.
Yeah, well, she
So-
was ready to, she died by
she
cancer,
died,
right?
Yeah, she died, and she came back.
It's amazing, really. It's amazing.
It's like kind of watching cats on Broadway. You know, it keeps on dying and comes back. You know, but
Louise Hay
like
did
that.
that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, did she die and come back?
I don't know if she died and came back, but I know she
Yeah.
changed her whole experience.
Her
She
whole
changed her
aspect
whole
changed, yeah,
perspective,
yeah.
and the cancer. She, I think, cervical cancer or something, and
yeah.
it completely turned around. And she's been cancer-free, as you know, for many, many years
Yeah.
now.
Yes.
I always say, you know, it came from nowhere, it can go back to nowhere.
Exactly.
You know, the problem with it is the doctor says you have 3 months to live. You know, that's kind of hard to get out of your head. You know, I mean, you have to be a really strong person to overcome
problem
a
is
doctor saying something like
When
that
they
to
tell
you.
you something like that, you have, you know, doctor tells you got 3 months to live. You don't have 3 months to live. Only God puts a toe tag on you. All right, no doctor does. When a doctor says that you have 3 months to live, you know why you die in 3 months? Because you put it in your head that you have 3 months to live.
Right, right, yeah.
Do not confirm, do not claim sickness or disease. When you say my cancer, my sciatic, my scratch your behind, whatever, okay? You claim that and you make that your own. Do not do that. Anything that you say after the words I am, never do it with a negative connotation, because at that point, what you're doing is taking the Lord's name in vain. Always a positive connotation.
Well, because when you say I am, what did God tell Moses on the mountain? He said, you know, what shall I call you? I am that I am. So, you know, we all have that little drop of source inside of us, of God inside of us. That's what creates our soul. So we have a co-creative ability, and I'm not saying, I don't personally believe we're God. I believe that we can co-create with God. And so when you do that, you're using that spark to
You
manifest.
use the spark of God in yourself, you know, your I am presence. That's what you use. You use that to heal yourself and to heal others by
Yeah.
claiming the miracle, because you are God. It says it in the Bible that you are God. You are spirit. You are not a human having a spiritual experience. You're a spirit having a human experience.
That's
you are
true.
spirit. You're connected to the divine highway, which is God. You're nothing but a computer terminal, if you want to use that terminology.
That's really a good
Analogy?
good analogy.
Am I good tonight?
You're
I'm
good
I'm
tonight.
good
You're
tonight.
on the night.
What do you say? I'm good tonight?
You are.
See? Okay.
Now, you know, I want to just point out something, because when I was looking this up in the dictionary, I was surprised to see this. And when I look up the word psychic, it said psyche equals soul. How about that? So I was surprised to see that, you know, so that was all very interesting there. So basically, there's some thought for you on how the misconception has been with all about this, because really it's the people who are people of God who do this type of work, at least for the most part. As in anything, there's wolves in sheep's clothing everywhere, right?
Entertainment.
Yeah. So what do you think? You think you're ready to do a little reading for someone?
We'll do our best.
All right,
Let's
so
do
this
it.
way people can see what actually takes place, so you can get yourself over there. Just be careful that you don't, you have to be able to walk with your wire.
Yeah, walk with my wire.
Walk with your wire.
Okay.
Okay, Phyllis, would
Victim?
you like to come
Oh.
up? Victim.
Victim? No.
You do a little background.
Hi.
Phyllis.
And you are? Hi, Phyllis. Nice to meet you. Okay. We'll do the bows.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to face me, please. Okay. That's good. Okay. And just hold your hand there. And we're doing a 15-minute, I think, short reading. So what I'm going to do is I'll see what comes through really quickly. But I'll let you ask questions, because that's a little easier when I get into it. Usually it takes a little longer. Okay?
Thank you.
Phyllis, right? Take a deep breath, one to clear your mind. Another to clear your body. And one to clear your soul. The only thing I'm getting at the moment is that there's a blockage here in the throat area.
Okay.
You're not saying what you want. You understand that?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because you need to move forward in that. Now, you're in a relationship, correct? Okay. You need to start saying what you want in the relationship. Okay, because that's where the block. You understand that?
Yes.
Good. Okay. So we don't have to get into all that. Yes,
Okay.
not in front of TV.
Thank
Okay.
you.
But anyway, that's the block. Don't say what you think you need or what you think you want. Only ask for what it is you want. And you need to tell this to your partner. And you also need to tell your partner that this is not about him, right? This is about you.
Yes.
Okay, and that's why you need to, do you understand this?
Yes.
Okay, good, because it's been a little, right?
Very much.
Yeah, okay. All right, so I'm going to let you ask questions because,
Okay.
yeah.
One thing I'm interested in, I'm looking for a second job,
Mhm.
and I'm not having any success. So I kind of need some insight on that.
All right, well, one, you're not writing it down. You
Okay.
need to write it down because when you write things down, tell me if I'm wrong, but when you write things down, that keeps you kind of organized. Okay, and you need to do that because you don't focus.
Okay.
Okay, do you understand? And
I-
you have like 3 or 4 things that you want to be doing.
Yes.
But one, more than anything, write it down what it is in your work that you're thinking about doing. But I want you to write down only what brings you your joy in that job.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure.
Because that's going to start the avenue. That's going to start opening the door for that
Okay.
particular thing. Okay? Now, are you doing something with your hands? Is this some kind of massage or Reiki or energy healing? Are you doing energy healing?
I do.
Yeah, because I see that you have a lot of energy coming. I mean, you're supposed to be doing healing work. Okay, but are you thinking of doing more like in the consulting field or like counseling?
No, that wasn't exactly.
What direction were you wanting to go in?
Well, I do energy healing
Right.
as well as past life regression.
Okay.
I work with my hands. I'm a pet care specialist.
So do you want to go into that? You want to know whether that's a good way to
Well,
direction to
my
go?
next question would be, I have a small business, a
Uh-huh.
grooming business.
Okay.
We've been in business almost 25 years.
Right.
And the economy's not doing well, so the business isn't doing well. That's one of the first
But
things
you're
I
doing
need
the
to know.
grooming. Are you doing the Reiki also on the animals?
On occasion, I do, yes.
Yeah, I think you could be doing more of that. I think you should. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
I think you need to focus more on the Reiki because I see you doing the massage.
Okay.
Okay, and I see the healing hands and the animals. I mean, right now, if you work with animals, that's the best.
They do.
They
heal
respond so
quickly.
much better than medication,
Very
which
quickly.
has been always the case with animals. But people want to
They're very
do.
open to it. I
yeah.
have a pet of my own that's been very
Okay.
ill, and I've been concentrating.
Absolutely, it's good. But I also think that you need to write more.
Right. More.
Okay, because down the road, as you get better at it, because you're kind of like,
On and off.
yes, exactly. As you get better at it, I have a feeling that you're going to be writing like a pamphlet of some kind.
Okay.
Okay, and that's going to also be able to increase business for you. Okay, because people need to take it home. See, when you do the treatment, you do it in the office, and that's all good, but people don't want to keep bringing it over and over.
They wanna be
They
able
need
to-
to maintain it.
Yes.
Do you understand that?
I
And that's going to help a lot.
All right.
Okay, and that's going to be really good.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, next question.
I've been looking for a new vehicle. My vehicle is
You mean
very old. Yes,
Mhm.
a car,
Mhm.
and that hasn't been manifesting either. So I was.
Why
wondering if
hasn't
you
it
had
been
any-
manifesting?
I haven't
Because-
written it down. I have that.
No,
I
by
have been
having
writing
it, because you say I can't afford it. The one you want, right?
Well,
Yeah.
that's one small aspect, but I've tried to push that away.
Yeah, well, don't push it away. What you need to start doing is just when you pray, when you pray in the morning,
Yes.
say, with gratitude and joy, I begin this day and I welcome a new vehicle in my life that allows me my joy, and I surrender this to the divine.
Okay.
Stop asking, where's it going to come from? Which is what you've been doing,
I
right?
try not to, but it is in
But
the back of my
that's what
mind.
you've been
That's
doing,
true.
and that's
Okay.
what they're telling me. That's what you've been doing, and that's not a bad thing because that's how we're groomed,
Programmed,
right?
yes.
Exactly. But if you can change that, because you know what, your vehicle is like, right? Yeah. And I'm
Literally.
getting it's like and they're saying that there's no reason why you can't have it sooner than you think. And I
Okay.
say you probably in the next, I'm getting the number 2, so probably maybe 2 weeks, but I would think 2 months.
That
You'll
would
be
be
able to manifest it.
outstanding.
And you know what?
Yes.
Stop worrying about where the money's going to come from, because this is what you need and this is what you want.
Yes,
Okay,
I do
more
need it
than
very
anything.
badly.
But why don't you change the need to a want?
Okay.
Okay?
Certainly.
Because when you change the need, because you can have any car you want. I mean, because the need is there. And,
Absolutely.
And the universe gives you what you need. It could be a motorcycle, it could be a bicycle, it could be a tricycle, right? But you want a vehicle.
Well, I do take animals with me
Right.
back and forth
Right.
to work,
So
so I
just
actually
go
need
for
it.
what you want and ask for it and surrender to it
Okay.
and see what doors open up at that point. But don't put a time frame on it. But I do see 2.
Well, I
Okay.
hope it's less. It's quickly.
Yeah.
I'm
Well, 2 months isn't bad.
no, not bad at
Not-
all. That would
right.
be wonderful. That would be a miracle.
Yeah, go ahead. And then let me know.
I will.
Okay, and next one.
Alrighty. The next thing I was interested in, I was speaking of that pet that was ill. When you had your conversation before, and you were talking about not putting a time frame on life and not accepting the illness. I had been given a time frame for the dog, and she's way out past that time
Correct.
frame. But I've been doing the healing energy on her, and I'm interested in how that is coming along. I can see that she's doing well, but
Is this in her back legs?
her front,
Her front legs?
her front legs, yes,
Because I'm seeing it's in the legs.
yes.
And it's muscular. Of course, but it's also neurological.
It's in the bone.
It's in the bone?
It's in the bone, yes.
Because she's in pain.
She had been. She doesn't appear to be anymore. No, they gave her a lot of medication. I cut the medication down. I've been doing the hands-on healing. She gets very little medication now. It's mostly for swelling. She has bone cancer. They gave her 2 months to live. It's been about 9. But the difference in her attitude and her ability to
Right.
play.
She needs a lot of nurturing right now.
Yes.
And, I just keep getting that she really needs greens.
Greens.
She
Okay.
needs I don't know, dark green vegetables of some kind. If you could make that, because she doesn't have any iron
Iron.
in her bones and her.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean? I mean,
I give her a tremendous amount of supplements, so she gets zinc and she gets calcium
yeah.
with magnesium
But
and
try
stuff like that.
natural greens.
Okay,
Because
sure.
dogs really like food. They really like
Yes, they do.
real things,
She does.
and they react better.
That might have something to do with her. She used to just eat grass when her stomach was upset.
That's what they
now
do.
she's eating grass because I think
I-
perhaps it has
it's
something
the
in it
dark
she
green, but I
needs.
think it's just going to nourish the bones.
Okay,
Okay, because the bones are what's weak.
Right.
That's where the problem is.
yes,
Yeah, I try it. Just give her spinach mush or something and mix it with her food, whatever you give her, just so she has
Sure.
more.
more greens.
More of natural is better. I mean, even if you do not natural, when you mix the natural with it, it's going to
it
be
makes
better.
a big difference.
Makes a big
certainly.
difference, and she needs more nurturing,
More.
a little
Okay.
more love. TLC. I know a lot of attention right now.
She gets a tremendous
yeah,
amount.
she,
Okay,
she's
so
like
can
real
have
needy
more.
for it. Yeah.
She is.
Next question.
Yes.
Are we good
okay.
with time?
Yep, I
Yeah.
think we'd wrap it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, the last question would be, I work very closely with my sister and my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law has been very, very ill. It seems that he's taken a turn for the worst again, and I'm kind of interested in if there's anything we could do for him, if it's coming close to his time.
Well, let me ask you a question, because he's stubborn, right?
Extremely.
Yeah, and does he want to keep working?
Yes.
Okay, because you're okay if he doesn't work.
Yes.
Okay, so why don't you just let him play and just let him do what he needs to do, because this is what's giving him his joy.
Working.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He doesn't have to work, and you don't put any,
Pressure
just
on him.
pressure on him.
Right.
But every now and then scold him, because so he could feel like
Important.
I'm part of it. Exactly.
Okay.
But let him do that, because right now that's what's feeding him.
Okay.
It's giving him a purpose. Do you understand that?
I do.
That's his identity.
Okay.
Got it? Does that make sense?
It does,
Good,
yes.
okay.
We were just concerned that he had a very life-threatening thing, and he doesn't feel like he has much time left. So I was wondering if you had any
Well,
feeling on.
26.
Why would you even let him think it? Just
Well-
that's why we just keep working, keep playing. You know, you're being a jerk today. Stop being a jerk because we have things to do.
Yes.
Keep him in that frame of mind.
Okay.
Okay, because it's like he said. The doctor said 3 months, and once you put, once you
Don't
put
own
that,
it.
you manifest that.
Yes,
the
you
fear
do.
you manifest, and fear never makes anything better.
No, that's true.
Worry never makes it better, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, so have him living in the moment is what's going to make him live
Okay,
a little longer.
sure.
Okay?
All righty.
All right. Know that we love you very much. Anything we say to you today, if you decide not to hear it, it's okay because you are surrounded by many spirits and people that love you. If you digest a little what we say, you will start seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. Know that all is well, and so it is.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay.
Phyllis, thanks for coming up.
Thank you very much.
Well, it's kind of like the kindest corner of psychics.
Yes,
Huh?
it was just wonderful.
Yeah, it was terrific.
So now we're going to open up the floor for anybody that wants to come up and ask a question,
Mary Lou,
your most pressing question, so that
Ask a
we
question.
can
come on,
move it along.
come on. Do it for me. Come on.
Who wants to volunteer?
Come up and ask a question. Eat. Come on, Peter. Ask a question.
Little chickens. Most of our audience guests
Hi,
tonight are
microphone.
chicken. Yeah,
Do you want them standing or?
Oh,
They
it
can
doesn't
stand, they
matter.
can sit, they can.
Sit,
it doesn't
or,
matter.
okay, sit.
yeah. Wait.
Hi. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. What's up?
This might sound kind of strange,
Uh-huh.
but
Louder. Hold it.
for a long time,
Uh-huh.
in the middle of the night, my telephone rings.
Do 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 do. Go ahead.
No, a real ring.
Yeah. Okay.
And I answer it and nobody's there.
Uh-huh.
And there's no number on the caller ID.
Okay.
And sometimes, like,
Who do you think it
I
is?
think I'm dreaming, but it happens so often.
Who do you think it is?
I think it's my father.
I think
It
you
is.
might be right.
It
Yeah,
is.
Every time it happens, I feel like my father's
not your
trying
mother.
to contact
Yeah,
me.
I would think
No,
it's
it happened long before my mother
Yeah,
was gone.
I think it's your father too.
What's he trying to tell me?
That he's thinking of you. You know, they do things like that sometimes, the spirits. You know, that's the only way. Well, one, your father was not one to communicate verbally.
True.
Correct?
True.
Okay, so you get it? So he just wants to make sure you're okay. Let you know that he's watching over you.
That's what I get the feeling.
And you feel good about it, right? Instead of feeling scared? Yeah, there you go.
I guess I've seen it.
Okay,
There
so
you go. Yeah,
okay.
that's what I
So I'm
believe
not
it is.
dreaming it.
No, you're not dreaming it, never. Especially if there's no caller ID on it.
There's no number.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it happens a lot with telephones with people. I've heard that
Okay.
a lot of times. And you know, mediums are not fortune tellers.
Right.
Okay, but what they do is when those that we love move on, every now and then they just want to let you know that they're thinking of you, that they're watching over you, and that they're here for
Yeah,
you.
precisely.
Okay, and then you know, most likely your father's at a baseball game any other time, enjoying that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Uh-huh.
All right, that
All right,
worked
that's
out
good,
well.
good.
That's wonderful.
Anybody else?
No question.
I did do, when she mentioned the phone call, I did see her father.
Did you see her father?
I did
yeah.
see her father.
Yeah, I kind of saw her
call,
too.
Okay.
He's calling her to let her know that he's all right and he's having a good time on the other side.
Huh. All right, last call for a question because we're going to move on to something else now.
Come on. All right.
Grab your microphone.
Grab the microphone.
Yeah.
We're all wired here. Hello, young lady.
Hello. My question concerns my children
Uh-huh.
and their chosen fields.
Hmm. Are you more concerned with the eldest one than you are with the youngest one?
No.
Okay, you're concerned with the youngest one. Interesting. Go ahead.
I feel she's in the right career, but I'm wondering if she's in the right path. She's looking for a new job now.
The
she's looking for a new job now.
You know-
and it doesn't seem like anything's coming.
I would worry more with the eldest one than I would with the youngest one, because the eldest one is not living up to his potential. He's got more he could be doing. Do you understand that? The youngest one, I would not worry about her at all, because she is always going to follow her own drum. You know what I'm saying? And she is just really testing the waters for everything. She's overly sensitive. Okay? I'm getting this. She's overly sensitive, and everything to her is a learning experience. Okay? She's not one to read a book, even though she reads books, but she's not one to learn by reading a book. She's only by learning by adventure. And she's going to go through a lot of ups and downs with her heart. Okay? Not physically hard.
Emotional.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you have to let her do that, because it's the only way she's going to get through her journey on her adventure. She is going to be a leader. She is going to be like her mother. She's going to do her own thing. She's going to be very much a politically active, I'm not saying in politics, but politically active in whatever field she chooses. She's going to be the speaker, the leader. I would not worry about her at all.
Okay.
Really. But
Good.
she's never, when she was growing up, never explored. Do you know what I'm saying? Let her
Yeah,
explore
yeah.
now. This is a
Okay.
good time.
All
I would not worry about her. The other one is time that he should be doing other things, because he's very smart and he's learned a lot, but he's not taking the lead. He's still following
Wow.
does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Makes
Okay.
a lot of sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are we good?
It
We
looks
have
like
one-
we
we-
have
we have
we
another
have someone else coming up.
Okay.
We got 2 minutes for this one. 2
Hi,
minutes.
staff member. Good. How are you?
I just wanted to know if you have any idea of a career path for me.
Sit back a little bit. Palm open. Don't cross your leg. Boy, you've tried a lot, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? There's like 4 different paths you can take. So let's just hone in on them, okay? Because I see writing is one of them. Is that correct? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Is the other one? Is this part to do with the film industry?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you want to direct or just produce?
I like directing.
Okay. Yeah. So why are you, that's really where you're best, and writing. Do you understand that? Is that making sense? Directing and writing is probably.
Writing might kill me, but
It might enhance it might enhance you being a director.
mm-hmm.
Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, because it kind of works hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
So what is keeping you from doing it now? Because you've been in the business for a long time.
Yeah.
Where's your fear?
Just financially.
You know what? The law of the universe is this. Okay, so I'm going to get a bunch of people coming in now, girl. That's going to say
Okay,
something.
I'm ready.
Okay, the law of the universe is this. You work for the money goes as fast as you make it. That's what you've been doing, right? If you work for your joy, the money will come in from all areas, which you've experienced also. Which is more fun? Working for your joy, right?
Absolutely.
Let go of it. Know that everybody has a moment and everyone has a time. Okay, everything has a reason, everything has a rhyme, right? You're going to do just fine, because I'm getting that you are in the business that you're supposed to be in. This is something you've had since you were a little girl. You wanted to be in this business. Is that correct? I think that you need to market yourself better and stop being so shy about it. Do you understand that?
I'm not really shy.
Well, good. But don't be shy, but market better.
Okay.
Okay, because I see that you're not marketing as well as you should. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's a shy thing.
Okay.
Okay? So I would market yourself a little better, and then I would start doing more. I would just start writing down what you want instead of going back and forth like a yo-yo, because you're kind of like on the yo-yo syndrome, what I call the yo-yo syndrome. 1 minute you're up, 1 minute you're down. You understand?
Yeah.
I would start like, this is really what I want, and this is really what I want. And just ask for what you want. Stop asking for what you don't want. Because remember, when you ask the universe for what you want, you get it. And when you ask the universe for what you do not want, you get it. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Good. So does that make, you're in the right field, that you're in the right area.
Okay.
Does that make sense? I would focus on direction, and I would focus on writing.
Not acting.
You know what? You can't be a director without being an actor.
Okay.
Correct?
Yeah.
And I'm not in any of them, right? But I know that much, right? So why would you even omit acting? Because if you don't understand acting, you can't direct.
Correct.
Okay, so does that help you?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So never give up both. I mean, it doesn't mean, you know, I'm a designer. I've always been a designer. And when the industry for clothing was not good, I went into interiors. And but I'm still designing. You catch my drift?
Yeah.
The designing is what I love.
Right.
You got it?
Thank
Does that
you.
answer your question?
Yeah.
Does that help you?
Yes.
Good.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Yeah.
All right, Dino, that was great. Come on over here with us.
Come in, come in.
Well, we have a little time left, and wasn't that fabulous? Now
He's
you've
a
seen.
traveling psychic.
Yeah, he is. So now you get to see what a real intuitive will do when you have a private reading, and that was terrific, by the way, Dino.
Thank you.
We loved it. We enjoyed watching it too.
Thank you.
know, it just seems so real when Dino sits down and talks to you like that. I feel like you're my brother when you're talking.
But I'm not talking.
It's spirit,
that's
right?
the
coming
best
through.
part, because, yeah.
As my friend Simon would say, you're being the straw. The energy just comes
Right.
through and it comes out, right?
Right.
Well, you know what? We don't have too much time left, but I thought maybe we all might share a story of maybe one of our most memorable or first psychic
Feisty?
experiences. Did I say feisty?
I think you're going to say feisty.
First or most memorable psychic experience that you want to share. I would like one of these days you'll have to come back. We'll have to just sit around and we'll do a round table and just talk about some of these different stories.
It's so much fun when psychics or intuitives
Yeah.
get together.
Yeah.
Psychics, I understand, is a bad word to use, but when intuitives get together and we talk,
Yeah.
it's good. It's fun.
Oh yeah, because you all share your stories.
Energy's flying.
Yeah.
Well, we've been talking, so why don't you tell us your story?
My story?
Yeah. Well, you can each have a
Well,
couple
this
of
happened.
minutes.
This happened a few years back on Christine Chavon's show, Spiritual Exploration, and you were a guest on the show. And
That's interesting.
I did not know what your subject matter was going to be. Steve, who's on the camera here, was the floor manager, and I was working a camera, and I asked him, give me a piece of paper, right? And I just started writing down a bunch of stuff. I was writing down Egyptians, aliens, I was writing down all this guy, Asians, with back in the Mayan days,
The
all
Mayans.
these different kind of stuff, right? And I was writing down all these different things, not knowing what she was going to talk about. And every single thing I wrote down, she spoke about. And on this curtain, going around behind us, I was seeing them. I was seeing the Egyptians with the hair that comes down like this. I was seeing the Anubis. I was seeing grays, all in the curtains, in the shadows of the curtains. And I would tell you the truth, it really was overwhelming, because that's when I started to see a lot of things more. I've seen Michael the Archangel in this corner here many times when we do shows. It protects the show.
Yeah.
And cleanses the studio of negative energy, and it was just an overwhelming.
I remember because
I'm over there, I'm
you
going,
were,
come
you were
point.
writing down and you're pointing to me and you're doing this and I couldn't really understand what he was saying, but he told me later and I was like, oh, that's so cool. You can see all that.
It was an experience. It really was. Because I don't usually do that. I'm not where it goes. I'm intuitive. I'm a healer. Am I intuitive? Yes. Okay. My thing is that if somebody tells me a story, I'm seeing the story.
Yeah.
As they're saying it. And that's when I'm able to advise you and able to ask you questions about what you just told me. So
Explain that again.
If you're telling me a story, I see the story. When she was telling her story over here, Phyllis, I was seeing it as far as the dog is concerned, and the bones, and I was seeing what was the problem. I do a lot of things with dogs. I extended a dog whose life expectancy is only 14. She's 15 now, and she's had cancer for the last since she's 11. So you know, I tell you, don't accept any kind of doctor's thing that you are going to die or you're going to have this or stuff like that. Because when you accept it, you proclaim it, you claim it, and that's it. And you will get what you ask for, even if you don't want it. So learn to train your mind not to think like that.
Well, just the other day, we were on the telephone, and I was telling you the story about one of our next visitors who's going to be on the show, one of our next guests. And he was telling me how his wife had suddenly died. And it was such a shock because they'd been married 34 years, and they loved each other, and she died of an aneurysm. And that's just what the guy had told me. And he, you know, he was seeing this as I was telling him the story.
That it was an aneurysm.
Yeah.
And why she died so
Right.
quickly.
So
You know?
your gifts are very strong. You know, they really are. Yeah.
What's yours?
Well, let's see. I have so many. I'm trying to pick out which one I should do.
The first one.
The first one, oh my, this to me still is kind of unbelievable. When I didn't know how old I was till I told my mother when I was about 18 or 19. She said, "You can't remember that. You were 18 months old." And I'm like, "Well, I do. It's as plain as day to me." What happened was I had, my father could fix anything, and he was grinding something in the basement. And I was running around as kids do down there watching what he was doing, and a piece of steel went in my eye. So they rushed me to the hospital so I didn't lose my sight. And I remember laying on the steel cold table, you know, how they strap you down, and the doctors were bending over me, and my back was cold, and I was an infant practically. And I was
wearing masks so you can't tell who they are.
I was kicking and screaming. I was terrified, you know. And then the next thing I know, I was up in the corner watching down, and now all of a sudden I have an adult's comprehension, and I'm thinking, who's that baby? Oh, that's me. And so they took the steel out of my eye, and I don't remember going back in my body, but what struck me was that at that time, as an adult comprehension and a toddler, I suddenly knew that we weren't our body, and that when we die, we're not our body. We still live, because I was out of my body. And since that time, I've had quite a few out-of-body experiences, but that was my first, as you would say, psychic experience. And it's funny because as I was putting this together, I came across something on astral travel, this is kind of like astral travel out of your body. So I'll tell you this one. Okay, listen to this. The book of Revelation recounts John being taken up in spirit. So John says in Revelations 4:2, "At once I was in the spirit, and to a throne stood in heaven with one seated on the throne." So you see, he's in the spirit. He was in the spirit, you know, he was not in the body. So, you know, that's kind of referencing what I was just talking about. So anyway, you got a story you'd like to share?
Well, I have a lot of stories.
Oh, I can imagine.
But the one that really gets me is I travel all over the country and I do readings, and I get booked in places where I could do up to 40 readings in a week. You know, where they book you all day long, and you're like,
and you're
by the end of the day, you're like, oh,
you're
right,
punchy, right? Yeah.
It sounds the same.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
And I remember doing a reading with this gentleman, and every time I would say something, he would say no. And I don't know about how you experience it, but when Spirit is telling me to say something and I say it, and the person on the other side is closing off, my head feels like you're being thrown on a brick wall. It's like, right? And it's totally exhausting. And I went through this whole reading, and because I don't remember the readings, I said to this person afterwards, I said, all I remember is I was like, and I said to this person, well, how was the reading? And he said, well, I would never do this again. Well, you know, to us, that's like, well, are we giving the wrong information? So I just started questioning, maybe I should never do this again. And there's a reason I'm telling you this. So all night I got no sleep, and I'm thinking, I don't need to be doing this. It's exhausting, and if I'm giving somebody bad information, I'm not gonna. That's not what my intent is, to show that we are all about love. And that's the bottom line. And if I can't do that, then I don't want to be doing this. And the next morning, they picked me up in the car, and we were driving to where I was going to do the thing. I was booked the whole next day, and I just said to somebody in the car, I said, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going back to design. I'm going back to my art, you know. I don't need this. I'm not going to do it. And they said, oh, you can't give up. You're booked all day, da-da-da-da. And the reason I'm saying this is because at that time I said, okay, I'm going to ask God, I call the divine, for a sign. And I want the sign from the divine. Nobody else, I want the sign for the divine. You got it, right, okay?
They just told me.
You're right, the divine sign, right? Okay, and so I said, this is what I want, this is what I want. And I walked into the house, and the person that was hosting the, where I was working, said, you know, I got you booked all day long, and you have I know you like at least an hour off for the day, for fuel, but I had this call from this woman, and she really wanted, and you're only booked, you only have that 1 hour open, and she wanted an hour session. And I said, okay. And I said, I'm going to make this quick. So anyway, make a long story short, the gentleman, we used to tape my sessions, and the gentleman's mother, who was Jewish, said, you should never go to a psychic because it's bad. It's bad. You're waking the dead. You're talking to the dead, and you shouldn't do it. So he literally came in to make me feel that I was wrong. And when the mother heard the tape, she said I was so together that she was the one who booked the appointment. And so from now on, when I doubt anything, I always ask the divine for a sign from the divine. I don't want it from you or from you. I want it from
That's
the
right,
divine, and I
because
always get it.
has always said that when the student is ready, God will send a teacher. He sent her to you.
Absolutely. Yeah, the mother, right?
That's right.
That's a pretty cool story.
Yeah.
So the mother changed her whole philosophy.
Exactly, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's a good story, and there's just so many we can share. I think we're counting down on time, so let's see. Do we have time for any more stories, or is it time to just thank our audience and our guests and
Our
so forth?
guests and all of our sponsors and everything else, I guess.
Well, I guess the
what
first
do we
person
got?
we got 3-4 minutes maybe left, right?
Is that what we have?
Yeah. So anyway, I had a grand old time here tonight, and I want to
I had
thank you,
fun.
Dino, for coming because we enjoyed you so much.
Thank
and
you.
I think that
Yeah,
the
come again.
people.
Thank
yeah,
you.
We'll
Thank you.
come
You're gonna come
next
again.
time you come. We'll have a few other of intuitives, and we'll all sit around and we'll chat. We'll do tea.
That'll be
you know,
great.
And,
We'll do tea?
We'll do tea.
We'll do tea.
I
We'll
say
do
it.
tea.
You're going to have tea.
And and so that will be fun. I had hoped to squeeze it in today, but like I told you before we started, an hour goes by like that, doesn't it, once you get
Yes.
started? So I thank you for coming. I know you're going to be heading off to California for a while, but maybe when you come back.
Sounds good.
And
Thank you.
Cowabunga, dude.
Thank you for having me.
yeah, you're welcome, dear. And I want to thank all of our studio guests and our
Listeners.
people who came up and had their questions
We got to
and
stretch it out now.
their private, their
Anybody else have a
pressing
question that
question?
maybe you want to just ask a question in this short time that we have? Come on, let's have a
I
volunteer.
don't know if we have time for that.
What? Who?
Oh yeah, just we could do a little closeout prayer. We want to thank
right.
our sponsors and the studio and,
And,
our
yeah,
volunteers
that's
and
true.
the crew.
And our crew and CTV studio here, Time Warner.
Yep.
And Antonio's Bookstore, who supplied all the food tonight in Tottenville, and Aardvark Pest Control is another one of our sponsors here in Great Kills, Staten Island. Vincent Bonacore, president, and my very good friend. All right, and is anybody else? Nobody has a question? A quick question?
Now-
We got a minute to go, 2 minutes to go.
Now, Dino, do you
We got 2 minutes. You
do
could actually
you ever say a
do
closeout
something.
prayer for anything when you do your ending readings?
I can.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep, we're gonna have Dino's gonna say a little closing prayer for us because we have a minute or two left.
Okay. Thank you, Mother, Father, for all our gifts and all our times together, good friends, loving people. We acknowledge that we are all one in the universe. and we are grateful for the time we get to spend with each other and the time we get to visit with people and the messages that we get to give to people. And with that, we say, so it is.
So it is. Amen on that. And that's true. Now, remember, people, everybody out there, next time you get to have an intuitive reading, go to someone who you're guided to see. If you go to an expo, you can always see Dino, of course, or come for a consultation with me, or Tommy.
Or you can come here once a month and come to the show.
Yes, that's true.
You know.
But I'll tell you the way I always, when
How you feeling, by the way?
Are you all
Me?
right?
Yeah, why?
Feeling good?
Yeah.
Cleared you right up?
Oh, yes, thank you.
You
Oh,
wanna
yeah,
tell 'em?
because Tommy did a healing session on his sinuses.
My sinuses, I couldn't breathe when I walked in. It was like,
Yeah,
knocked 'em
so
out.
Tommy took that out. And so,
Right on.
once again, thanks everybody. We love you. We'll see you next show. We have a great guest coming. Thank you. Thank you.